So guys, good morning to everyone. Today's video, without wasting much of your time, let's just talk about this video. So I want to talk about proof of funds of those of you who will be studying in Italy, all right, come September. This is how your proof of funds is going to look like, and this is the amount you need in your personal bank account, all right. Or if someone is going to sponsor you, this is the figures you need. Of course, I'm going to give you guys the figures right now. Then I will equally talk about some of the ways and some advice you should take as soon as you are applying for study visas to Italy. All right, guys, if you are new, please subscribe down here, subscribe below, and let us build the platform together. So I'm making this video because I noticed that a lot of people are not aware of the required amount or what they need to do in order to show the embassy that they have a lot of money to take care of themselves. Of course, you need to show to the embassy, if you want a visa, a study visa to be precise, that you have a lot of money or enough to take care of yourself for one academic year, because you are going to be applying for a visa, and for the embassy to give you the visa, they need to know that you have money for one academic year. But first, remember, they must verify this. Please, I'm specifying this because some people usually ask me, Milton, are you sure these people are going to verify the accounts? Would they check? Yes, Italy doesn't joke. They would verify every little detail you put out there to them, all right, claiming that that is your information. So you should know this. They have to check the bank account. They will verify. I'm very certain about that, all right. But first, what is proof of funds? Well, proof of funds is the evidence or the required amount you are showing to the embassy that you have money to take care of yourself, or take care of your academics, pay your bills, accommodation, and feeding, of course, the internet, that you have to show that you have money to take care of all these bills, all right, for 1 year. That is proof of funds. And when you provide this document, there is a document you are going to supply, which is the bank statement. Now, when you supply this document, that is when the embassy is going to start deciding if they are going to grant you the visa or not. Okay, so now remember, there are two ways you can show proof of funds, or let me say the possible ways you can use is either you show a bank statement, all right, that you have money in a financial institution, or you put the money in a blocked account, like for Germany, the case for Germany and the case for Norway. But you are not doing this for Italy. For Italy, you need just a bank statement. You either need money to be in your own personal bank accounts, all right, or the money should be in your sponsor's bank account. And who are the people? Anyways, I will elaborate about, and I want to draw your attention to the fact that if you must get a sponsor, the person should be your father or your mother, all right, a very close relative that can have some identities related to surname or something. I will explain that further. Now, you should understand that this is how it's going to be. You have to prove all of that, and understand that some schools in Italy would equally just tell you that Evans, Milton, Erica, this is the amount of money you need to be in your bank account or for your sponsor to have in order for you to apply for this visa. Some schools will tell you that. If they don't tell you, please ask them, so that you should be aware of what is going on. But they will definitely tell you that. And sometimes they will even provide a sum on a link, in search of a link or in the form of a link, so that you can click from your admissions letter or the admissions offer information, and it takes you directly to where you are going to check. Because the proof of funds, you already know, is the sum of everything you are going to be spending per year. They already calculated this, and that is why they are going to give you. Again, understand that most institutions, I think some cities in Italy, remember, proof of funds depends also on the economic expenditure. What I mean here is how expensive is the city. Maybe you can buy food in Bologna, 500 maybe euros per how many grams, and you go to Pisa or Roma and you buy it lesser than that. Again, I want to draw your attention to the fact that the University of Bologna proof of funds is much more expensive than the normal proof of funds for Italy. The University of Bologna's proof of funds is 6,542 euros. That is the amount of money. If you have an admissions letter to study at the University of Bologna, this is the amount of money you need in order to apply for your study visa. Before you go to the embassy, make sure you go with these documents ready, all right? But the entire proof of funds for other students applying for visas to Italy is 5,983.64 euros. This is the amount the Italian government needs you to prove to them that you have it. All right, this is the amount. I think this should be closer to like maybe 3.5, 3.4, 3.5. I don't, please just convert the money to your local currencies. Okay, so this is the money the Italian embassies wants to see from you if you are applying from most African countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, and all the rest. All right, but if you are going to be studying at the University of Bologna, yours should be 6,542. Please verify this again. As a disclaimer, I am not an immigration expert. All right, I am only sharing my knowledge so that it helps you study abroad. I hope that will be fine by you. And if you need a one-on-one consultation with me, check the video description box. You are going to find details on how to book an appointment. Thank you so much. I also want you to understand that there is a very important step. All right, pre-registration. Don't forget, it is very important. Anyways, your universities will tell you about that. And remember, like I told you, some cities you may spend 500 euros a month. A place like maybe Camerino, you may spend maybe 350, 400. And when you go to Roma, you may spend 450. But the Italian officials, they are putting it to you that per month you are going to spend approximately 450 to 500 or even more in Italy. However, that is why they are asking you to pay 500 or to prove to them that you have at least 5,983 euros. All right, so now how do you prove to prove to the Italian officials that you have this money? Who can be the sponsor, who is going to sponsor you, or who is preferably, and how you are going to be moving about with the visa applications? For Cameroonians, you can check the Italian consulate in Douala. Now, if you must document that you are going to be studying in Italy, please pay attention to this section. It is very, very important. All right. One thing I want to tell you is that the account you are using should be an old account. A new account would never give you an Italian visa or a study visa or a national visa to Italy. All right. The reason is this: Italian officials are very smart. They want to know when that account was created. They want to see how the influx and outflow of money in that particular account has been for some couple of days. Of course, the money should be at least 28 days in the account. If you are preparing to study abroad, one thing I would say is try to get a bank account. All right, your own personal account is paramount to you. Please try to do that. Try to get a personal account, because you cannot be using external friends or maybe families and stuff like that. First of all, there are some family members like uncles, all right, aunties. Immediately your surname doesn't rhyme with them, it is a big setback to your visa application. Please try to do that. Now, let's start with a very possible way. The first way you can approve funds to study in Italy or to get a study visa to Italy. The first way is when you get a fully funded scholarship in Italy to study. What I mean here is that examples like Italian government scholarships and not the regional scholarship. Let me specify here, because regional scholarship is another type of scholarship you can get, but you can only get this scholarship when you are already in Italy. So please pay attention to this. It is very important for you to note. You can only get it when you are in Italy. And remember, you need this scholarship letter in order to apply for the study visa at the Italian embassy. Now, since you are going to be given this scholarship in Italy, how do you now go to Italy? You need a fully funded scholarship like the Italian government scholarship that will permit you travel immediately. All right. However, I'm equally talking about fully funded scholarships, not partial funding. Other scholarships in Europe, like the Erasmus Mundus, the Master Class, all right, the Chevening Scholarship, these are fully funded scholarships. You equally need another type of fully funded scholarship in Italy, like the Italian government and so many others. All right, that is the first way you need to study in Italy if you want to sponsor yourself. So if you do not have the money, then you have to start chasing scholarships. I hope you understand. Regional scholarships are not part of this because you cannot get it before you migrate. You need to move to Italy. Then maybe when you perform well, then they will grade your ECTS credit unit, then your performance, your GPA, before they can award these regional scholarships to you. Now, the second method you can study in Italy, all right, like you can show proof of funds in Italy, is you can sponsor yourself. I want to be categorically clear here that if you must sponsor yourself, please make sure the money in your bank account is equivalent to the amount. So your bank account must be very visible. You equally need to prove that you have been saving, all right? Because don't just take money and push it into the account few months or maybe few weeks to visa application and you expect the embassy to give you a visa. No, the embassy will see the amount and they will be like, how did you go about this amount? Or they will not even trust the process you are about to do because they believe that someone gave you the money and after the visa you are going to give them back their money. You understand? And of course that is a very dangerous threat to you when you arrive Italy because you may not be able to have money to take care of yourself. Again, if you are working, like if every week, every month, if you can be putting money in the account or if you have a source of income, just prove to them. If you are working, your pay slips can equally back you up. If you are not working, no problem. Just build the account slowly, 25k, 50k, 25k, 10k, put like that. It is only possible and make it up to, it is very important and make it up to this amount. The next category of people that can sponsor you are your parents, all right? Your parents, your mother or your father. Of course, these are the perfect set of people. Remember, I'm going according to the order. If you want to use, if you don't have a scholarship, use yourself or use your parents in this order. So your parents can sponsor you and you need to prove that they are your parents, all right? Of course, what is going to prove that they are your parents? Their marriage certificate and their birth certificate as well, because their birth certificate is going to show your name, and of course their marriage certificate will show that they are your parents. I hope you understand. Your birth certificate, their birth certificate, yours is okay to back up this, and the initial amount should be the same amount I mentioned. And of course, let the bank account be built in such a way that it doesn't bring panic to the embassy. All right, build it perfectly. I always tell international students that the best person to sponsor yourself is you. All right, it's always good for you to have a bank account. Try to create an account when you start this study abroad opportunities or journey, because it's going to be easy. If, for example, if your parents are late and you are looking at this process, I will advise you to open an account and look at countries that you can equally use their own personal bank account, because a lot of people have problems. They have admissions, but they cannot do anything because they don't have people to give them bank statements. You understand? So having a statement is very important, especially when you are above 20. Please put this into consideration. The next person who can sponsor you is your spouse. If you are married, all right, maybe your husband or your wife can give you a statement. Please remember that the account should be a personal savings account. If you are getting a sponsor, it should be a personal savings account, especially for the spouse. All right, you can use any of your accounts, but if it is yours, but for your spouse, it should be a savings account. It is better that way. And of course, it speaks a lot if you have all these details. Savings account is better than a current account, all right, because of course you just need to save. They will always save. All right, so please put this into consideration. It is very, very important. Another group of individuals that can sponsor you if you want to study in Italy or if you want to apply for your study visa are your siblings. All right, your siblings have to sponsor you, and they can sponsor you. I beg your pardon. And remember that you must also show documents to prove that they are your siblings. What is going to prove now that they are your siblings? Your birth certificate and their birth certificate, or the individual who is going to be in charge to sponsor you should give you his or her own birth certificate. All right, if he is your brother or sister, I believe this is going to work out well, because on both birth certificates your father's and mother's name should be on it. So that is enough proof. Like I already told you, auntie, uncles, I don't really see it that way. All right, let them transfer the money to you. It's going to speak a lot than them just maybe giving you their own statement. That is already an external something. You understand? When you start drifting from parents to auntie, uncles, the embassy may start looking at it. Of course, you can have parents like you may have your aunties and your uncles who want to sponsor you, but in this case, create an account, let them transfer the money into it, and of course you use it to apply for your visa. Okay, it's better that way than to take bank statement from them. I don't really look at it very well. Or maybe your boss, you may ask, what of a company can sponsor you, but they must equally prove that you have some working engagement with them. And of course, this is your relationship. Your boss, your auntie, same thing. I'm insisting that your aunties should transfer the money to your own account, because you may not necessarily have a surname with them, all right? And that is going to be a very big problem. Please listen to this information and take it very seriously. I hope this will help somebody. This is the little I have today for you. Please, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you click that subscribe button. See, we meet again in another one.